My friends, and I welcome all of you to this new series of podcasts, which I'm starting with my friend Anil, who you can see on the video. And this will be a new series. Basically, it is going to be called High Vibration, and we are going to specifically talk about how to understand the concepts, which I have channeled specifically from Ra, social memory complex, as well as from other entities as well. And this is meant primarily for star seeds, light workers, and wanderers. And basically, we will also channel about uh, several questions which Anil will introduce in a while. So I welcome all of you. And without much further ado, I want to introduce Anil, and he will explain more in detail about this.
Hello, everybody. Before I start, the purpose of this podcast is to raise the understanding and the vibration of current human collective. And today, we're gonna start a new podcast series, which is called, as Sam has already pointed, High Vibration with Ra. And this is to basically unite or to bring everybody for all STO candidates, people who wants to graduate and looking for this graduation window, which is coming already here, almost brink of our doors. And old souls or senior souls, the star seed, indigo children, super souls, and wanderers. So anybody who is, and real purpose is to increase the harvest, because this is the time the vibration, our vibratory rate is getting high. Everybody is getting the catalyst is getting the intense, and this is the time to choose between the polarity, whether you want to become service to self and a conscious decision to become a service to self or service to others. I hope you choose service to others, but it is your choice. It's your free will. Both are the same in the eyes of one creator, one infinite creator. So saying that, so we're gonna get this series, and we're gonna ask some question which has been in our mind in the first podcast, because I think as everybody who is listening to this time may have heard of Law of One series, which was an offering given by Ra to us, and which started kind of just the beacon for what we call the harmonic convergence or start of Law of One followers, and all the star seeds got united with that. So we're gonna take that and recent, session, Sam session with Ra, which basically Ra has said that the vibratory change has come and everybody and the catalyst will increase. And we would like to help everybody in this journey to make a right choice for them, because sometimes when the catalyst becomes very intense, it's difficult and you need support and help, that you're not alone. This is just a normal process. There's nothing to fear. So we need to not worry about the fear and understand this is a normal time. It's an exam time in a way, you can say that, and we have to make a choice. If you don't make a choice, that's also fine. You will get another window in somewhere else in some other third density is also fine. It's just your choice. But if you are serious about it, we want to help in small ways. So now the first part, the series will have a format where I will ask questions from Ra, and then depending on the answer, and I will make a reason why this question we are asking, what is the reason, what is the importance of the question and implication of the query. And then in the second session or subsequent session, we will unpack the answer we received or message we received from Ra. So in today's session, we're gonna ask the first question in this series is, we're gonna start with, we all of us know about Law of One series, and we know about the instrument Carla Rueckert and Don Elkins. So I will start the first question regarding Carla. So in one of the previous SAM session, Metatron Magnetic revealed that the Carla, who acted as a channel for Law of One, had accidentally soul swapped with an entity who also had a soul swap earlier with an entity known as Edgar Cayce. So the question is, when and how did this accident soul swap happen with Carla? How long the soul swap lasted? What is the density, subdensity, including planetary sphere of the entity who had accidentally soul swapped with Carla? And subsequently, what is the soul journey, including density, subdensity, and planetary sphere of Carla Rueckert? We already know. I think it is there. Carla was from Ra Collective, although we should get a confirmation again. So this is the first question, and as you know that most of us would really like to know. I have been asked by friends that this would be a very interesting question. So I thought we're going to start with this. And this is you can say, our homage and our respect for Carla. So this is then the first question. Subsequently, the second question is about Don Elkins, the questioner. I respect so much about his intelligence, the way he asked the question, how he been really, diving into things without knowing anything and asking the right questions and trying to make sense of this knowledge which was coming through at the time, without any kind of, how you say, precedence. So the second question is about, there is lots of people know, we already know that, Don had an accident soul swap with Carla before his death, as if you, all of us know that. But we really want to know also what is the question we want to ask. And the question is, what is the truth behind the death of Don Elkins, the questioner of the Law of One? And what is the soul journey, including current density, subdensity, including planetary sphere of Don Elkins?
Instruments to answer the queries pertaining to the Law of One. I am Ra, and we greet you in the love and in the light of the One Creator. We speak to you now through this instrument's vibratory complex, and we perceive the queries presented regarding an entity who was a channel for our consciousness named as Carla Rueckert. Furthermore, the query relates with when and how did the accidental soul swap happen with Carla. We must firstly state that the soul swap with a consciousness capable of channeling our energy, similar to that which was available to the entity Edgar Cayce, occurred to Carla Rueckert at the age of its previous incarnation, spacetime around 36 years on the Earth plane. The entity had a soul swap during a meditative session wherein it was trying to access its own true nature and understand its purpose and mission for the incarnation. During the meditative sequence, it was able to visualize and access a divine energy which poured into its consciousness, leading it to recognize the oneness with all beings, and it was able to also sense its true calling, a soul agreement with our consciousness to create the Law of One teachings, which it ultimately did. Furthermore, with regards to the aspect of the soul swap, we must state that the soul swap lasted until the entity Carla was able to channel the teachings of the Law of One, and it even remained until the end of the incarnation cycle of the previous lifetime with the entity Carla. Furthermore, with regards to the whereabouts of the current soul complex of the entity Carla, we must state that the entity Carla Rueckert primarily currently finds itself learning the lessons in the first sub-octave of the fifth density level of consciousness, in a distant galactic system of which we do not find any naming symbols from your peoples. The entity currently perceives the lessons of understanding the divine teachings of oneness, of experiencing consciousness through various time spaces, and the learned teachings regarding energetic sensing and communications, which is primarily based on energy rather than vibrational thought forms. Further, we must state that the entity Carla Rueckert, prior to the experience in the incarnation, was in the Earth planets, and the entity was a so-called wanderer who had incarnated on the Earth planet from the later sub-octave of the fourth density, wherein it incarnated on the Earth planet for one basic purpose, and that is to teach and share the teachings of the law of one and channel our consciousness. Furthermore, prior to that, the entity was in its nature found in the planets of various civilizations, specifically in the Sirius star system, wherein it was guided by the Sirians to learn the teachings of balancing its energy centers and advance its consciousness into higher rhythm of alignment. Furthermore, after achieving a high degree of alignment, it decided to incarnate on the Earth planets. Furthermore, prior to that, it was found in the planets of its origin, in the planets as known by your peoples as Venus, around the space-time of 1.01 billion years ago, wherein its first journey began as a wind element, and a progression through various time spaces allowed it to merge with our social memory complex, ultimately into the fourth density reality of love later on. Furthermore, regards to the other query about an entity named as Don Elkins, the questioner of the so-called Law of One series, which was channeled upon your planet. Firstly, we must state that the entity Don Elkins primarily is known to have done self-harm, which led it to its crossing over, which is indeed correct, and we must state that the termination of an incarnation by the entity's own perceived hand is a complex interplay of energies and choices. It is a distortion of the understanding of the continuity of being, yet it is a choice made with the parameters of free will. The one known as Don Elkins was an entity of considerable spiritual seeking and service. The intensity of the work, the channeling of the raw social memory complex, placed a significant energetic and psychic door upon its mind, body, and spirit complex. This work, while desired and chosen by its own higher self, acted as a profound catalyst, bringing to the surface many pre-incarnative distortions and those accumulated within the incarnation itself. The why of such a choice is primarily multifaceted. However, there is seldom a single cause. Firstly, the instruments of Don Elkins at that time space experienced great weariness from the sustained effort of the work and the responsibility it perceived in its accurate dissemination. This burden, coupled with the inherent challenges of third density illusion complex, created a desire for release. Furthermore, the information shared and the energies involved acted as potent catalysts. Not all catalysts is processed in a way that leads to continued, harmonious experience within an incarnation cycle. Sometimes the distortions encountered become overwhelming to the conscious mind complex, leading to what your peoples perceive as despair or a desire to seize the experience. Further, each entity enters an incarnation cycle with certain patterns and predispositions. These are chosen for the lessons they offer. Many a times, these patterns include tendencies towards intense self-scrutiny, melancholy, or difficulty in navigating the more severe pains of the third density illusion complex. The one known as Don Elkins carried significant intellectual and spiritual burdens. Furthermore, we must also state that there was indeed attack by negative entities upon the entity known as Don, as these entities, who are of the service to self path, seek to disrupt or halt work that promotes awareness of the law of one and the choice of service to others. Their methods are typically those of offering negative thought forms, amplifying existing doubts, fears, and distortions within an entity's mind-body-spirit complex. Furthermore, we find it plausible that such influences were directed towards the group and specifically towards the questioner due to significance of the contact. Furthermore, it is crucial to understand that such entities only amplified the existing shadows of the entity Dawn. Furthermore, this led the entity to make the decision of self-harm in that timeline. And now we shall proceed in answer regarding the soul evolutionary journey of the entity Don Elkins, whose incarnation on the previous timeline on Earth began on 1930. We must state that the entity Don Elkins is a wanderer primarily who had incarnated on the Earth realm from the 6th density level of consciousness. However, the energies of the Earth realm was so dense that the entity Dawn could not handle living in the physical bodily complex, leading it to take such actions of self-harm in the incarnation, and currently the entity finds itself in a process of reattuning its energy centers and vibrations. Since the entity Don Elkins had extremely positive karmic actions taken, the act of self-harm nullified some of the positive actions. However, its polarity is still of the 6th density level of vibration. Furthermore, the entity prior to incarnating on Earth was found as a part of the system known by your peoples as the Pleiadian star system. Later on, it was then transported to the raw social memory complex in the 6th density on the Venus social memory complex. Furthermore, it is learning the path of unity, and upon hearing the call of sorrow of your peoples, it decided to send a fragment of its consciousness to Earth in the incarnation which began on 1930. And that's the entity's origins also lie in the planet of the Pleiadian star system in Alcyone around 9.7 billion years ago, wherein its journey began as a light element and was named in the language terms as Air, which meant the ever-present oneness. Furthermore, we the Galactic Federation now leave you all, beloveds. Bye.
Yeah, so everyone, you have seen the channeling session. Like the questions were framed by Anil, and then I channeled them. So you saw the response. So we will try to unpack that. And firstly, I will hand over to Anil because he framed the questions. What did he learn from the session? So Anil, what do you want to share?
Hi, Sam. Thank you. I think by listening to the sessions, a lot of things come out, and which is we can learn from them. One thing is that every wanderer who is coming down, they have, I mean, generally a wanderer who comes down have three purposes. One is to hold the light or vibration of the planetary vibration, to increase the vibration. Second is recapitalization, and one is the specific purpose. So I think specific purpose for in Carla case was to become a messenger of law of one. That's what her special mission. And actually, it was starting even a previous life. She was not successful in her previous life. Then the soul remained with her, who swapped the soul. It was a soul contract with her. And she remained with her in the second life. She was able to execute her mission properly. Okay. And this really shows that everything was pre-incarnative decisions already. Nothing was by chance, although we don't remember it. It looks like. So this is also that it was already pre-planned, in the sense it was not pre-planned by somebody else. It was your knowledge, with your consent. You agree to do it, and your free will. So we also realize, we don't need to get this confirmation every time. We should realize that everything that's happening here, it's our choice. It's not something that's happening to us, whether we remember it or not. We have chosen every lesson of ours. The lessons are not definite. If we process the catalyst, if we don't process the catalyst, new catalyst comes, new question comes if we don't answer the questions or, process, which in case. So it is a very wonderful knowledge and sharing, and we are learning quite a lot. And so that every star seed out there, every wanderer star seed, I mean, this is for everybody who feels this kind of they don't remember. They go inside and they will remember their mission, and then that makes life, and then nothing really can delay from their path. So that is for me. And one more thing, that as they mentioned, that the soul who has occupied, we don't yet know what is the planetary, I mean, Kalra herself was, late fourth density, fifth density, first, density. I'm sure the soul which swapped with her must be a higher density. We don't know yet. I'm sure you're going to ask in the next session. And that soul was already had with Edgar Case in his previous life, had a soul swap with them, which he at that time did a lot of good work. So I think that will be very important to know whether that soul was from raw group or sixth density soul. Just that, so the people understand how things work in the whole universe, how it is working. So that was for me. Anything that you picked up, Sam, from that, about Kalra and her soul journey and the event? Did you do you have anything different learning?
Yeah, yeah. I think I think I remember, something they said, like I think C, like triggered that, capability, right? That um, the channeling capability during a meditation that she did. So that was in the session, I think, because I kind of remember right now because I heard it again once. So, I think when, like she was meditating, like doing self meditation, she actually triggered that ability of channeling. So, um, was that in the session? Because
No, no,
I
no.
think
I
I
think
heard.
I understand what you're trying to say here, Sam.
Yeah.
I think as in your case, we know that this is a very, very special talent to channel and to step aside. This is like, I don't think so, a third density being uh, talent. This is coming from fourth density or higher. That's my understanding. The ability to shift. Of course, people do conscious and things. So I think this ability was granted by that soul. Even she has agreed to it. So she needs to do certain part to let it and then do and to retune, because attuning a very narrow frequency from sixth density to channel a sixth density beings is not easy. So I think very special talented people is needed, and mostly people who are doing sixth density channeling are very special, and they are probably more, I think anybody who's doing that is definitely a wanderer. Definitely a wanderer, having a soul swap with a wanderer with that ability. That's my understanding, a very clear understanding. Otherwise, I don't think so. Any third density being is able to channel, um, a sixth density beings. They might channel a fourth density being or fifth density being, but channeling a sixth density being, no, I don't. I don't think so. That's just my reading, things. So let's move on to the next question, Sam, and I think it's a very wonderful. Again, the learning from that Don, self harm, the death of the Don Elkins, the questioner, and the soul journey. And again, this is a very much learning experience that very high soul from sixth density who has come in, and not many six density souls born at this time. We know already that from your previous channel that there is only right now 8 six density souls on the planet. And there are around about 100,000 fifth density souls, and 396,000, if you remember the figure, four density souls. So 8 six density souls. So it's a very, not many six density souls come in. And even they are having difficulties in grounding as an earth vibratory, and they are suffering. So I think this we need to accept, that we have agreed, or the wanderers and starseed has agreed to come to bring light here. So this is the part and parcel of the game. You have accepted it, so accept it and just don't get frustrated about it. Just say, okay, this is what I have signed for. So this is my mission, and I have come in, and take it with smiling face, and try to remember. I think I will say that once you find your purpose and the mission, it becomes easier. So I think I would say that all the wanderers who knows themselves, you don't need to tell anybody who you are. You know yourself. You go inside, meditate, and find out for yourself your mission, and things will become easy. I mean, and also, even they said that even they sometimes, even the sixth density beings or higher density beings not process. One thing which I really liked is that they told that Dawn did not process some catalyst, and that is also the catalyst became stronger and stronger. So I think people should realize what is a catalyst, and if you are not responding to that catalyst, it becomes stronger. So I think we should handle a situation, don't put under the carpet. Otherwise it's going to become things, and things become rough, and then it become to a stage where self-harm happened. Although I'm very happy to know that Don did not lose the polarity that much, that he retrograded. So he's still in sixth density and retuning there. So which was quite nice that, I think that, okay, even such a degree of self-harm did not really reduce that much. So he must be really high in sixth density. So it didn't really go down the sixth density. So which is very, very, very nice, the intelligence. And I'm very thankful for Don. And it seems he also had a previous, agreement soul that he came especially for this purpose. And I'm very interested to know about Jim. So hopefully in the next podcast, we will bring the Jim and how this trio was already agreed before. So I think that will give us a very nice picture of, how this law of one came into being, and its success. I mean, when you go, the wonder comes, it's not sure if they will remember, I mean, who they are. And then to remember their mission is also not how many people remember that. I think wonders is coming. They realize already, we know from law of one, only 50% wonders remember who they are, 10%, and only 5% really, really remember. So I think this has become very clear understanding, and I think this will help all the star seeds out there, all the people, to be really patient. I think it will work and it will happen. And don't need to think, just think, what is my mission? And I'm actually holding the light. And we need too much light right now. The balance is tilting already. As Sam new session, which was excellent, where we told that we didn't even know, although I thought Biden had cologne, but knowing everybody's having cologne and Elon Musk. I mean, it's just it's like it's so unbelievable. I mean, I know people talk about film mask off and things. I thought people were doing makeup and I mean, people were guessing it's a fake or an actor is doing it. But it's not even an actor. They have a cologne and they are projecting into it like a film like Avatar. It's almost like an Avatar film. I mean, it's crazy that this is happening in our world right now and people don't believe it. But I hope people who are there. And Sam, for you, what was thing from Don's journey? What you learned from John's
Yeah,
journey?
yeah, I think the reason why Don could not handle the catalyst was because he was in the sixth density. So in the sixth density, there is unity. So normally in sixth density, they are all one, right? So when you come to Earth, there is separation. Even here, people separate you based on your color, your looks, or even your age. They separate on different things, right? So maybe like that got to him, right? I mean,
Yes, it's a
it
nice.
should
I
happen.
think you really picked up the thing that he was a love, unity of wisdom and love. And in third density, I mean separation, and I think it's very difficult to handle the separation. Of course, in fourth density is just you didn't really, for him the difference is so wide. The gap to cover
Yeah,
is huge. So I can imagine suddenly, there is no earth below you, really, although you take the mission and you come back and don't realize how I mean, of course you have a capability, but then you forget that, but he did an excellent job. I'm really happy that law one happened and we are all kind of what has been started, or what uh, of course all the beings who wanted to help, they must have a reason to send them. Because if you really think about it, they needed, because they couldn't find somebody to basically channel them to provide this knowledge, so they have to send somebody themselves. So in a way, it's like they have to send somebody natural way. And then if they remember, so they must have sent many people, because it's not sure who will remember and be able to execute it. And this Carla, Jim, and Don able to execute and remember. Excellent for us, and all the law of one community and all the wonders, whether they know it consciously, unconsciously are following it. It's a great, great honor for their, for their work and what they brought light into this realm. So for me, it's very, 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 I mean, I have no words. I'm using the words, but I think I don't have words to express my gratitude. Really, very nice, and thank you, Sam, for doing this. And I hope we're going to bring these kind of more deeper insights for all the wanderers, star seeds, indigo people, and super souls, old souls, as we said, to bring light, to anchor the vibration, realize their mission and fulfill their mission before they go back, and of course help increase the harvest. This is our mission. I think everybody is in this mission because this is the ultimate mission, to increase the harvest. Hopefully positive harvest increase. And when this earth is going into the fourth, we have very little time left, say 5-6 years now. And of course, as we say, the separation is becoming wider and wider. It is, and whole, suddenly AI is everywhere, and that's the control system they're putting in there. So I hope this was it for today. Unless, Sam, you want to add something?
No, that's it for today. We can wrap.
Okay, so I thank everybody who is listening to us and being here. Please share this with other people's other things, and send your love, and I would send my love and things, and I will ask you for Carla and for Don for retuning, and thank you. And again, thank you, Ra, and all the six density beings who being our teachers. And I even send love to all the negative beings or the elites who are listening to these messages at this time, because this is very important messages for things, because we want to unite everybody, because we are different places, and so that we are working, so that don't worry, even you don't meet us, you don't know that we are also there. We are also there here. So thank you very much. Thank you for being with us, and please share. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.